Welcome back to another video. In this lecture, we are going to have a look into various web analytics terms, and we are also going to look at in-depth definition of each of these terms. So in this video, I am going to show you examples. So by the end of this video, you will be able to understand what each of these terms means and what is the difference between these terms. So let's get started. I just log in into my Google Analytics account, and as soon as you log in, you can see here that some of the terms are right in front of you. So we see terms such as users, session, bounce rate, session duration, and if you scroll a bit little down, you can see terms like traffic channel, source medium, referrals. And there is a session called audience. If I go into audience, you will be able to see terms like users, new users, sessions, number of session per user, page views, page view per session, average session duration, and bounce rate. So what we will do now is that first we will list out all the important terms and definitions that we use it in web analytics, and then we will go ahead and look at each one of them in depth. So what I have done is that I have done my own bit of research and I have come up with 14 different terms. These are the most important terms that is frequently used in analytics. If you go ahead and look for metrics and terms and analytics, sometimes people have a very long list of 50 to 100 terms, but you need not go that level of them. Right now, as we are learning analytics, these are the most important terms. So let's go ahead and have an in-depth look at each of these terms. The first one is annotations. Annotations are nodes that help us understand traffic patterns. So you can go ahead and enter an annotation inside your analytics account. In one of video, I'll show you how to do it. So here you can see there's an annotation called test. If there is a traffic spike in just one of these days inside your analytics account, and this spike in traffic is because of an offline campaign that you did, you might not be able to understand why this traffic spike occurred. If you are looking at your analytic account maybe 6 months or 1 year down the line. So annotation helps us go ahead and record why this traffic spike occurred. The next one is attribution. Attribution is mostly used to understand the source of sales and revenue inside the funnel. Attribution is mainly classified into first click and last click attribution. Let's say if you consider 100 visitors being sent to your website from Facebook, 50 visitors from Twitter, and 500 visitors from Google. And at the end of the day, you are having, let's say, 20 sales. You need to find out the sales happen from which source. Maybe all the 15 sales happen from Facebook and another 5 sales happen from Google search. So this helps you to understand that no sales happen from Twitter. So this is the first click attribution. You need to understand where the click originated from, Facebook, Twitter or Google. So what if Google is providing very less ROI and Facebook is providing good ROI? You will be able to make a decision that you have to invest more effort into paid advertising and organic activity inside Facebook, because out of the 20 sales, 15 sales came from Facebook and no sales came from Twitter. So if you are investing a lot of money and energy on Twitter, so you might not want to do that because you are not able to attribute any sales back to Twitter. So that's how attribution works, and attribution is important. So in this case, I have explained what is first click attribution. Last click attribution is basically what is the last page that your user goes on, or what is the last click that they did just before the sales happen. So that's how attribution works. Now let's go to the next term, which is bounce rate. Bounce rate is basically the percentage of people who land on your web pages and then leave without clicking anywhere on your website. In other words, single page visitor. So they visit your website and they just leave your website. So these are called bounce visitors. As a general rule, you should try to keep your bounce rate as low as possible, which means that you are getting relevant traffic and you are able to capture people's attention and keep them on your web page. So in general, your normal healthy bounce rate is 70%. If 30% of the visitors are visiting more pages inside your website and clicking around your site, that is good. So now coming to the next term, which is conversion rate. The number of people who converted on your website divided by the number of people who visited your website. So this conversion can be filling out a form such as lead generation form, or it could be a sale, or it could be any activity as defined by you, and it can also be a click. Conversion rate is usually measured for sales and leads. So here let's say I am getting 100 visitors to a web page, and out of those 100 visitors 20 people has filled out a form and they have become lead. So this makes the conversion ratio 20%. The next one is dimension. Dimension is a characteristic of your data that you can use in filters. So here you can see an example where primary and secondary dimensions. Primary dimension can be keyword, source, landing page, and other. So these are general dimensions that you have inside Google Analytics. Once you start using Google Analytics, you will get comfortable with what dimension means. The next one is page views. Page view is basically when a page is loaded and Google Analytics tracks the load of the page. It counts even if the same visitor come back again or refresh the page. A single user can have even 10 page view in a single session. There is no limit to amount of page views that this user can have. If a user visits your homepage and refresh the homepage 10 times, then it is counted as 10 page views. Then there is a term called unique page views, which negates the same user visiting the same page again. Let's say a visitor visits your home page and then he visits two other pages and then he comes back to the home page. The total number of page views will be counted as 4 and the unique page view will be counted as 3 because it is the same user. The next one is session. Session is basically defined by a visit by a unique user in a window of 30 minutes. If a visitor comes to your website and spend 1 hour on your website, then it is counted as 2 sessions. So if a user visits my blog morning once and in the evening once, then it is also counted as 2 sessions. So the next one is users. Users are basically the number of unique users visiting your website. The same user visiting your website on a different day using the same device will be counted as a single user. To understand user session and page views, because these are the terms which are usually confused with one another. Let's see an example. Let's say user A visits your website today. He goes through 5 different pages within 30 minutes. Then it is counted as one user, one session with 5 page views. Let's say user A visits your website today twice, once in the morning and once in the evening. Then he goes through 5 different pages within 30 minutes in the morning and 3 different pages in the evening. Now it is one user, two session, 8 page views. So this is how Google Analytics takes the data and reports it inside your dashboard. Many people go ahead and confuse between page views, unique page views, user and session. It is very important that you have a clear understanding of the difference between all these terms so that you will be able to present it to your employer or your agency client with confidence. Now the next one is pages per session. This is the number of pages visited on average per session in the given time frame. So here you can see this report, we have different pages per session for different sources of traffic. So people who are coming from organic search have a higher page per session, and people who are coming directly have a lower pages per session. Pages per session is also called page views per session. Both are same. The next one is entrance. Entrance is the number of times visitors enter your site through a specific page or a set of pages. If I have a page which is inside my blog, not the home page, but a specific article, and if people are coming to my website directly through this page, then it is counted as an entrance. So here I have taken one particular URL and I have taken out the metrics for that particular URL inside my blog. So here you can see the page views, unique page views, average time on page, entrance, bounce rate, and exit percentage. This is usually for the time frame that we define. So when you log into Analytics, you will be able to define what is the time frame in the calendar. So usually it is the past 1 week that is shown here. You can see in the past 1 week that there has been 651 views, 651 new user directly coming to this page. So this particular web page is ranking well on search engine. So people are coming on my website for the first time and they are entering through this page, and 84% of those people are also exiting from this page, which means that they are not visiting further pages on my website. The next one is percentage exit. Percentage exit is the number of exit divided by number of page views for a particular page. It indicates how often user exit from that page or set of pages when they view the pages. So it is the same URL again. So here you can see the percentage exit is 84.33%. So this helps you to understand whether they are only interested in the content on that page or whether they are going to other pages and consuming more content. The next one is source. Source is specific URL from which the traffic has originated from. It could be google.com or facebook.com. Source of traffic can be very lengthy and it can contain a lot of sites. So to solve this, there is something called medium. And what medium does is that medium shows you what is type of source that you are getting traffic from. So here are the some example include organic, referral, email, things like that. So medium can be a lot of things, even it means the same thing. For example, sometime for social media, people use SM. Sometimes they use social media with a space, and sometimes they use a word social media without space. So if someone else is sending traffic to your web page, and if they are using this medium in the UTM tags of the URL, then it is ranked as different things inside the medium report. So to solve this problem, there is something called channels. Channels are basically different groups of traffic source with multiple similar mediums. And channels are very standard. It is developed by Google Analytics themselves. So here you can see the different channels on the right. Organic search, direct, email, social, referral. So medium could be social, social hyphen network, social hyphen media, SM, social space network, or social space media. All the above goes into the channel called social. So I prefer that you don't use medium much. Medium is just to specify where the traffic is coming from. When you are looking the report, you have to look at the source and then you have to look at the channels. Channels give you a very clear idea and broad idea of where your traffic is coming from. Now we will have recap of all the 14 terms which we have discussed. So the first one is annotation, where you can take notes inside your analytics account. Then you have attribution, which helps you to find out where is the source of traffic and which source of traffic actually gave you revenue. Then you have bounce rate. So the percentage of people leaving your site without clicking on anything else is called bounce rate. Then we have conversion rate. Conversion rate is the percentage of people who are taking a specification predefined by you. Then you have dimensions. Dimension can be different type of views on how you are looking at analytic. It could be landing pages, it can be keyword and things like that. Then you have page views. So every time a page load, a page view is counted. Then you have sessions. So session is a visit by a user in 30 minutes period. Then you have users. Users are unique user who are visiting from specific device, so they are categorized as user page per session. So the amount of page views in a particular session on average is page per session. Then you have entrance. Number of people coming to a specific web page in a given frame of time. Then you have percentage exit, which is the percentage of people exiting from a specific web page after they have entered that web page. Then you have source. Source can be specific URL. It can be google.com, facebook.com. You can go ahead and define source when you are driving traffic using URL parameters. Then you have medium. There are multiple different mediums such as CPC, organic, email, and sometimes there could be different medium terms such as social media, SM, etc. But they all mean the same and they are categorized into channels. There are 6 different channels as defined by Google. This includes organic search, direct, email, referral, social, and others. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching this video and I'll see you in the next video.